All right, let's talk about something huge happening down in Florida. There's a new proposal on the table that could completely slash your property tax bill. We're talking about potentially saving you thousands of dollars every single year. So yeah, if you're a homeowner in the state, this is a really big deal, and we're going to break down exactly what it could mean for your wallet. Let's get right into it.
So, here's the headline that's got everyone talking. The Florida House just passed a proposal that could, over time, get rid of most property taxes on your main home. I mean, wow. A headline like that definitely grabs your attention. So let's dig into what's actually being proposed here.
So what is this thing really? What's the big idea behind this proposal? Let's take a closer look.
First off, this thing passed the Florida House with a vote of 80 to 30. Now that's not just squeaking by. That's a pretty strong margin, which shows there's significant support from both sides of the aisle. And, that's a really crucial first step for any major bill.
Okay, so the ultimate goal here, the big prize, is to phase out property taxes on your primary home. Now, there is one very important exception that we're going to get to in just a minute. But if this actually becomes law, it could literally save homeowners thousands of dollars year after year.
But here's where the rubber meets the road. The details are what really matter. So who exactly would qualify for this? And maybe more importantly, what taxes aren't included?
To really get this, you first have to know about the Homestead Exemption. You probably already know this if you're a Florida homeowner. It's an existing law that already lowers your property taxes if the home is your primary residence. And having this exemption, well, that's the key that unlocks the door for this whole new proposal. So here's the breakdown, plain and simple. This proposed tax cut would only apply to primary residences that have a valid homestead exemption. But, and this is the really crucial part, it would not apply to the portion of your property taxes that funds local schools. So you'd still have to pay those. So how does this idea go from a bill to an actual law? Well, passing the House was just step one. Believe me, there is a long, long road ahead. You can think of it like three major hurdles. First, it had to pass the House. Check, that part's done. Next up, it has to get through the Florida Senate. But even then, it's not a law. The final and highest hurdle is you, the voters. It would need a 60% supermajority in a statewide vote to actually be added to the state constitution. This timeline kind of puts it all into perspective, right? We're right here, at the very beginning. The Senate vote hasn't even happened yet, and the absolute earliest this could even show up on a ballot for voters would be November of 2026. The bottom line, this is not happening overnight. Okay, so let's step back from all the politics for a second and talk about what really matters. If, and it's a big if, this massive change were to actually happen, what would it mean for homeowners and for the Florida real estate market as a whole?
The ripple effects could be huge. I mean, think about it. If you remove a big chunk of property tax, that could seriously lower the long-term cost of owning a home. That, in turn, changes how banks figure out mortgage affordability, which could mean people might qualify for bigger loans. Of course, that could also drive property values even higher. And it would totally rewrite the playbook for real estate investment in the state. But it also brings up a giant question. How would cities and counties replace all that lost revenue?
So, what's the bottom line here? What should you really take away from all this right now?
The number one question on everyone's mind is pretty obvious, right? So when do I get to stop paying my property taxes? And the simple answer is, not anytime soon. Look, it's so important to remember this is still just a proposal. It's an idea. It is not a law. As we've seen, it has a long way to go before any changes could possibly happen. For now, really, the best thing you can do is just stay informed and keep an eye on it as it moves through the legislature. And that leaves us with this one massive final question to think about. If this actually passes, what would it mean for the future of Florida? On one hand, it could put thousands of dollars back into homeowners' pockets. But on the other, it would force a complete and total rethinking of how our local governments are funded. It's a profound change to think about, and it's one we'll definitely be watching. Thanks for tuning in.